right, we are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from... I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Saturday. Welcome to the weekend, day 6 of the 7-day challenge. So close. So close. What did you guys think of Green Day with Paul Chabot? Another good episode with him. Love that Green Day album. What are we talking about today? Well, we went and saw Duran Duran in concert last night. And I'm going to do an episode about that. But I'm just not putting it together just yet. So that'll probably air on Monday. Just so you know. My first time seeing Duran Duran. So we'll have plenty to say about that. But today we're going to talk about this cat right here, because I wore this shirt recently. I was like, you know what? We haven't talked about David Bowie in a while, and I feel like people don't really talk about him much anymore, just in general, and that's sad. And I love David Bowie, so I went and played greatest hits, played a bunch of records, the early, the 70s stuff. We've covered, my favorite Let's Dance. We've covered that album. We covered my favorite song, Cat People, Putting Out Fires with Gasoline, a couple of times. So we're parking ourselves in the 70s here. David Bowie, David Robert James, 3 first names, born in 1947, died in 2016. But he put out his first solo record in 1967 called David Bowie, and like Peter Gabriel later in 1969 put out another solo album called David Bowie. That one had Space Oddity on it. But anyway, this was the late 60s and early 70s, and that's when people put out records almost every single year. They churned them out. 67, 69, 70, The Man Who Sold the World. Great cover from Nirvana. 71, Hunky Dory. That had Changes. Changes. And Life on Mars. Space Oddity, Life on Mars. See the themes we got going on here. 72, that's where we're going to park ourselves. The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, usually just called Ziggy Stardust. The Spiders from Mars are his backing band. They would appear for the last time, I think, on the next album. What was the next album? The next album was, Aladdin Sane. Aladdin Insane, but it's called Aladdin Sane, which was written... while touring this tour in the United States, and it's about Ziggy Stardust goes to America, but I digress, as I usually do. But this one, Ziggy Stardust, a rock opera, it's got a lot of different elements in there, influenced by you can hear the influence of Iggy Pop and T-Rex. And, of course, the Velvet Underground. Who is Ziggy Stardust? Anyone ever pay attention? He's a bisexual, androgynous, fictional rock star sent to Earth to save the world from an impending disaster. What's going on in the 70s? Think about Rocky Horror and Frankenfurter and what he was doing there. I don't know. Anyway, this glam rock opera... whatever you want to call it, but so much good stuff on here. Went to number 5 in the UK, but the first thing they did was they put out a single without the record. The album hadn't come out yet. They put out the single, and the single was Starman with Suffragette City on the B-side. How about that? And then the album came out, and the critics loved it. They did. They loved it, and the fans. Well, either you got it or you were scratching your head. That's kind of basically it. It was a mixed bag. But he went on Top of the Pops in 1972. We'll see if we can find that clip if it's out there. He played Starman, and that put him like that was huge. That was a big deal. People loved that, and that's what really kicked it off for him. And only the two singles on there. That single, and then Rock and Roll Suicide. Interestingly enough, but. This has got some great songs on there. It's considered one of his masterpieces now, well, maybe his best. 5 Years, Starman, Lady Stardust, Ziggy Stardust, Rock and Roll Suicide. There's a bunch of songs on there. It's good. We're going to get to Song of the Day in a second, and that's 1 second is right now. We're going to get to it. It is Suffragette City, people. I played a bunch of Bowie songs and through his whole catalog and from the 70s. I was like, oh, how do I pick it? You know, what is it going to be? Young Americans? Oh, yeah, it's going to be Young Americans. Oh, it's going to be Changes. Oh, it's going to be Suffragette City. Oh, it's going to be Fashion. It's so hard. It was so hard, but I decided to park myself here on this one. Suffragette City was re-released in 1976 as part of a release of a greatest hits called Changes One Bowie, released in the UK, later released in America. And that's a story there. And CD, Changes One Bowie, was not out on CD as far as I could tell. My mom had similar musical tastes as me when I was in college. I went and visited her, go through her CD. She's listening to Dire Straits, and she's listening to Bruce Springsteen, and she's listening to The Cars. She's got all this. She's doing a lot of the same stuff. And I look in her collection, and she's got Changes One Bowie on CD, never seen before, never heard of by anyone. I never saw it anywhere else. I'm like, Mom, where did you get this? She's like, oh, I don't know. I think I got it at this used record store, you know, whatever. And I was beside myself. I'm like, there was nothing by Bowie on CD at this time. You couldn't get anything. Changes One Bowie wouldn't come out till officially on CD, I think, until the early 1990s. So it was, you know, it was the greatest hits of Bowie, and no one had it. Crazy on CD. Anyway, Wham Bam, thank you, ma'am. References to Clockwork Orange. He read the novel and he saw the movie, Stanley Kubrick movie, and that just influenced him a lot about how they were feeling about things at that time, and a lot of that stuff was influenced by that. The live tour afterwards with the costumes and everything were influenced by that, which was interesting. But Suffragette City is your song of the day. It's a great song. That's the one I decided to pick. We're at 7 minutes, but so you're going to David Bowie it today. I never saw him in concert. Are you guys fans of the 70s stuff? Anyone out there see him in concert? All I know is when I saw him in the 80s, when skinny ties were big, when I saw that video for Modern Love, I wanted a jacket and a tie like that. I wanted to do all that. But anyway, David Bowie, rest in peace. Suffragette City, whatever you're doing today, I hope it involves music. We got one more day. Are we going to do a slow down Sunday tomorrow to make 7 and 7? Stay tuned. As usual, catch you on the flip side.